Before everything changed, Amarachi Onora was a name that echoed across Nigeria like a legend. In the world of digital storytelling and online journalism, everyone knew her. She wasn't just another YouTuber, she was a spirit reporter. At only 30 years old, Amarachi had achieved what many could only dream of. She was young, beautiful, bold, and incredibly smart. Her YouTube channel, Unveiling the Unseen, was unlike anything else online. She didn't make comedy skits or lifestyle vlogs like most creators. Her niche was different: mysteries, spirituality, and witchcraft. While others chased gossip, Amarachi chased truth, or at least what felt like it. Her videos took viewers deep into the strange and hidden corners of African tradition. She filmed initiations, interviewed spiritualists, and documented ancient rituals that few dared to speak about. There was something fearless about her. She could walk into a forest at midnight with a camera and a microphone just to capture a moment others would run from. That was her magic, bravery wrapped in beauty. One of her most viral episodes was titled Inside the Witch Market of Benin. In that video, she walked through a market filled with charms, skulls, and mysterious herbs, speaking calmly while people watched in disbelief. It reached 13 million views in one day and got her featured by the BBC as Nigeria's boldest female journalist. Her fame skyrocketed. She moved into a Lekki waterfront mansion, a sleek modern home with glass walls, white marble floors, and a view of the lagoon. Her Range Rover, painted in custom red and gold, gleamed like a symbol of success. Luxury brands began reaching out. She had everything: fame, money, followers, and influence. But behind that calm smile, Amarachi wanted something more, something that would make her name unforgettable. You see, in the world of fame, success can be a trap. When you finally reach the top, you start to fear being forgotten. Amarachi began to feel that pressure too. Each video had to be bigger, deeper, and more shocking than the last. She wasn't just competing with herself. She was competing with Mirabelle Jones, her greatest rival, another popular content creator trained in the UK, elegant, and always dressed like a TV anchor. The night it all began, rain poured heavily across Lagos, drumming against rooftops like 1,000 restless hands. Inside her glass house in Lekki, Amarachi sat before her glowing laptop screen, scrolling through comments and analytics. Her last video, Secrets of the River Goddess, had crossed 5 million views. Yet she didn't feel satisfied. Thunder cracked loudly outside. The wind howled through the window frames. In that charged silence, an idea flashed in her mind like lightning. She picked up her phone and opened Twitter, typing a message that would change her life forever. Have you ever had a real supernatural experience? Want to be featured in my next viral episode? DM me now. She smiled as she hit post. It was bait, simple, daring, and irresistible. She expected the usual replies about uncles who saw ghosts and pastors who fought demons. She'd heard it all before. But that night was different. As the rain kept falling, her phone buzzed with notifications. Dozens of messages within minutes. Then one message caught her eye. It was from an account named I, no profile picture, no followers, only one tweet posted years ago. She frowned, but curiosity pulled her in. The message read, I have not only seen the spirit world. I live there. I am the spirit and I am ready to speak. Amarachi's smile slowly faded. Her fingers froze above the keyboard. Something about the message felt strange, not like the usual fake stories. It was short, direct, and chillingly calm. She hesitated, pacing around the room. Finally, she typed back, who are you, and what exactly do you mean? No reply. Days passed. She almost forgot about it until a week later, at exactly 8:47 p.m., her phone rang. The caller ID showed unknown number. She answered. A voice came through, low, deep, and smoky, like someone speaking from inside a dream. I texted you. The calmness in his tone didn't sound human. It was too measured, too cold. You want real stories about the spirit world? I can give you one, but you must come alone. The spirits do not like cameras. You can record my voice, but not my face, not my home, not my shrine. Please don't break this rule. And just like that, the line went dead. The week before the trip, Amarochi's mother called her early in the morning. Her voice was shaking, heavy with fear. "Amora, my daughter, I had a dream last night. A man with grey eyes took you into a shrine and you disappeared. I was calling your name, but you didn't answer. Please don't go anywhere this week. My dreams always come true." Amarochi smiled weakly, pressing the phone to her ear as she applied lipstick in front of her mirror. "Mommy, dreams are just dreams. You worry too much. You know I've been doing this for years." But her mother wasn't convinced. "You think I don't know what I saw?" The man had strange marks on his face. "You were wearing a black scarf. I saw you vanish in smoke. Please, my daughter, listen to me. Cancel whatever it is you're planning." Amarochi paused for a moment. Her mother's description matched exactly what she had planned to wear for the upcoming trip. A chill ran down her spine, but she quickly brushed it aside. "Mommy, you've been having scary dreams since I was a child. It's fine. I'm not a child anymore." Her mother didn't stop there. That same day, she called a pastor from their family church and asked him to pray over her daughter. The man of God later called Amarochi too. "My daughter, I sense danger around you. Delay your journey. The spirit world is not entertainment. Some knowledge comes with a price." But Amarochi only laughed politely. "Thank you, Pastor. I'm fine, sir. It's just a normal video project." That night, Amarochi lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Her mother's words echoed in her head like a distant drumbeat. But the ambition burning inside her was stronger than any warning. "This story will make history," she whispered to herself. One last risk, just one. The morning of the trip came. The sky was dull and grey. The air heavy like rain was about to fall. Even the birds seemed quiet. Amarochi dressed carefully, a long black gown, comfortable shoes, and a simple scarf to cover her hair. She avoided bright colors. She wanted to blend in. She took a last look at herself in the mirror. Her reflection seemed calm, but deep inside, something twisted uneasily in her stomach. Outside, her videographer Timmy was already waiting in the car, disguised as a driver. He wore a plain shirt and jeans, a small black crossbody bag slung across his shoulder. Inside that bag was a tiny camera already set to record secretly. "Morning, boss," he greeted. "Morning, Timmy." "Ready?" she asked. He nodded, though his hands trembled slightly. "As ready as I can be." They drove out of Lekki before dawn, leaving the busy traffic behind. As they entered Oyo State, the road became quieter, bordered by thick forest and red earth. The further they went, the more isolated it felt. For hours, Amarochi sat silently, scrolling through her phone. By the time they passed a small wooden sign that read, "Welcome to Idonra village," her phone had completely lost service. "Madam, you sure say this place dey safe?" Timmy asked in pidgin English, glancing around. Amarochi looked up from her phone. "Just keep going. We are almost there." He frowned. "This road no even dey for Google Map." "I know," she said softly. "That's what makes it real." The car bumped along a narrow path surrounded by tall grass and banana trees. The wind was still. Even the insects were silent. It felt like the air itself was watching them. After a long, tense drive, the road opened into a small clearing. In the center stood a crooked wooden gate, weathered and ancient, its surface covered with strange carved symbols, spirals, triangles, and shapes that looked like eyes. The driver slowed down. "Oh, madam, you see that thing?" Amarochi leaned forward. Her heart began to race. The gate wasn't locked. It stood open, creaking slightly as if the wind, or something unseen, had been waiting for her arrival. "It looks old," Timmy whispered. "It looks perfect," Amarochi replied, though her voice shook a little. The driver crossed himself nervously. "Madam, make I just wait here for road, I beg." "That's fine," Amarochi said. She handed him some cash and stepped out of the car, clutching her small camera bag. The air felt colder beyond the gate. The ground was damp. She could hear the faint rustle of leaves, yet there was no wind. As she took her first step toward the gate, a crow cawed in the distance, loud and sharp, breaking the silence. Amarachi and Timmy stepped through the gate, and immediately the atmosphere changed. The earth was dark red, almost wet, even though the sky showed no sign of rain. The trees stood motionless, as if holding their breath. "Timmy," Amarachi whispered, "hide somewhere and record everything. Don't let him see you." But as they looked around, their hearts sank. There was nowhere to hide. The ground was bare, no bushes, no walls, no corners. Only a wide open space that led straight to a small ancient hut with carvings on its door. Before Amarachi could speak, a shadow moved near the doorway. A man sat cross-legged on the ground, facing them. His presence was calm but unsettling. It was him, His eyes were deep and hollow, like pools of black water. His skin was dark, but his aura seemed to glow faintly, as if light burned differently around him. "You came," he said softly. Amarachi forced a small smile and took a cautious step forward. "Yes, I came." He studied her silently before his eyes shifted to Timmy. "Who is he?" "He's my assistant. He won't disturb anything. He's only here to help me stay safe." I continued to stare at Timmy for an uncomfortably long moment. Finally, without a word, he turned and walked toward the shrine. "Follow me." The moment Amarachi stepped through the door, her body shivered. The air inside was colder than outside, thick with the scent of smoke, herbs, and iron. Strange objects hung from the ceiling: feathers, broken mirrors, cowrie shells, and bones tied together with red thread. Clay pots filled with dark liquid lined the corners of the room, and the flicker of candlelight threw shadows that danced on the walls like ghosts. Timmy stood near the entrance, pretending to fix his bag while the small camera inside silently began to record. Amarachi sat down on a woven mat opposite the man. She took a deep breath and gently set her phone recorder between them. "Thank you for agreeing to speak with me," she said, trying to sound calm, though her heart pounded hard enough to hear. The man didn't respond immediately. He was staring into a clay bowl filled with water as though it held images only he could see. Then, without looking up, he spoke in a deep, even tone. "You wanted to understand witchcraft. Real witchcraft is not what Nollywood shows you," I said, his voice floating through the smoke-filled air. "It's not about flying in the night or turning into cats. It is power, the kind that bends the living world to your will. Power born from pain. Pain used as a tool." Amarachi's hand trembled as she adjusted her phone recorder. The air seemed to grow heavier with each word he spoke. "Real witchcraft requires blood," he continued, lifting a small calabash from beside him. "Sometimes not physical blood, but peace. Your voice. Your name." Amarachi's breath caught in her throat. She could feel something heavy pressing down on her chest. He turned his gaze on her, and for the first time, she felt truly seen, not as a journalist, but as prey. "Every success you see in this world has a price tag," he said slowly. "Even yours, Amarachi." Her eyes widened. "Me?" He smiled faintly, a slow, unsettling smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Yes, you. You didn't come here for truth. You came for fame, for power. And that makes you no different from those who kneel before spirits." The candles flickered violently, though there was no wind. Somewhere in the distance, a drum beat echoed faintly, though no one was playing. "You may tell the story," I said, leaning back slowly. "But hide my face. Hide this shrine. Hide my name." He paused, his eyes boring into hers. "Don't break this rule, or you'll understand why some truths must stay buried." Amarachi nodded quickly. "I understand." They talked for hours. I spoke of spirits that walked like men, of people who bought success with years from their lives, and of rituals that traded laughter for power. His calm voice filled the space, each word sinking deep into her mind like a seed. Timmy recorded everything, every word, every breath. But as the afternoon faded, he began to notice something strange. The shadows in the room didn't match their movements. Sometimes they bent the wrong way. Other times they disappeared completely. Finally, I rose to his feet. We are done. Leave before the night falls. The spirits don't like visitors after sunset. Outside, the sky had turned gray and heavy, clouds rolling like dark smoke across the horizon. They had gotten what they came for, but at what cost? Back home in Lekki, Amarochi stood by her kitchen counter and stared at the memory card on the table. It looked so ordinary, yet she knew it carried something dangerous. Her mind replayed I's words, "Hide my face. Hide the shrine. Don't break this rule." She tried to move on. She went back to her normal filming routine, brand endorsements, short interviews, editing sessions. But no matter what she worked on, the thought of the shrine footage kept calling her back. At night, she'd open her drawer and just stare at the memory card. It felt like it was breathing. Then came Wednesday afternoon. Amarochi was scrolling through Instagram when she saw a post from Mirabelle Jones. Her rival's latest upload was everywhere, inside Nigeria's hidden cult, True Story. Amarochi clicked the video. Within minutes, she could tell it was fake, overacted scenes, dramatic screams, and staged rituals. Yet the views were exploding. 500,000 in 4 hours. The comment section was full of praise. "Wow, Mirabelle is back. This is deep. Nobody does it like her." Amarochi's chest tightened. Her pride burned like fire. They think that's deep. Wait till they see real depth. She opened her drawer, took out the memory card, and plugged it into her laptop. The folder opened. Dark images flashed across the screen: the shrine, the bones, the smoke, the man's hollow eyes. Her heartbeat grew faster. "This is it," she whispered. "This will break the internet." She hovered her mouse over the file for a long time. Her hand trembled. Finally, she grabbed her phone and texted Timmy, "I'm posting it." "Amarochi, please don't. He warned us. Don't do this." She stared at the screen for a moment, then typed back, "Relax. I'll blur his face and lower the brightness. No one will know." Her pulse raced. She took a deep breath, then clicked upload. The progress bar crawled slowly across the screen: 1%, 25%, 100%. It was done. Title: Exclusive, Witchcraft is Real Shrine, Real Secrets. Amarochi leaned back in her chair, her eyes fixed on the analytics page. Within 10 minutes, 10,000 views. Within half an hour, 50,000. By midnight, 100,000. But in that moment of triumph, something in the spiritual realm took notice. The covenant had been broken. The next morning, Amarochi woke to her phone buzzing nonstop. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all on fire. #Amarochi the Fearless was trending. Her face was everywhere. People were calling her the voice of the spirits. Brands were sending her DMs, journalists requesting interviews. By afternoon, her views hit 10 million. By nightfall, 20 million. She laughed with excitement, pacing around her room. But as she sat down that evening, a strange chill crept into her chest. The lights flickered slightly, and the air around her felt cold. That night, her phone rang. Unknown number. She let it ring out. Minutes later, it rang again, same number. This time she answered. "Hello." Silence, then a soft whisper, broken and distant, "You broke the rule." Amarochi froze. "Who's speaking?" The line went dead. The next morning, she woke up sweating. Her head pounded. She swallowed 2 painkillers and told herself it was just stress. But as she did her makeup, her hand was shaking. The brush slipped, smearing her eyeliner. By afternoon, her body temperature spiked. Her legs trembled. Her nose started bleeding. Her assistant rushed her to a private hospital in Victoria Island. Doctors ran every test: malaria, negative. Typhoid, negative. COVID, negative. "She's perfectly fine," one doctor said, confused. Maybe anxiety. But Amarochi knew something was wrong. Each day got worse. Her fingers trembled. Her voice weakened. Soon her hair began to fall out in thick clumps. The girl who once shone on camera now avoided mirrors. Within a week, her silence became noticeable online. Bloggers began asking questions. Where is the queen of witchcraft? Hope this isn't spiritual. Oh. Did she anger the gods she exposed? Her rival Mirabelle tweeted cryptically, sometimes silence is the loudest scream. The tweet went viral. Fans who once adored Amarachi now mocked her. See what too much content does. She went to meet spirits for clout. One night, someone leaked a photo from the hospital, Amarachi lying weakly in bed, her skin pale, her hair shaved off. Within minutes, the image spread like wildfire. Memes followed. The same people who called her brave now called her possessed. Her brand deals vanished. Collaborations were cancelled. Her phone stopped ringing. Only her mother stayed, fasting and praying at her bedside, clutching her daughter's hand and whispering, God, please don't let my child die. The hospital room had grown quiet. Amarachi's body was cold and weak. Her mother knelt beside the bed, face soaked in tears. The doctors had given up. They said she was stable, yet every morning she looked closer to death. It was then that a prophet from their local church visited. He stood by the door, his expression grave, and said softly, this battle is not for pastors. Go back to where it started. There was an agreement. Agreement. What agreement? Her mother asked, trembling. The prophet shook his head. The spirit she filmed bound her. Until that covenant is settled, no prayer can help. That night, her mother sat by Amarachi's bedside. The once beautiful and bold young woman now looked like a shadow of herself, thin, pale, her hair gone, her skin dull. Her mother held her hand and whispered through sobs, God, show me what to do. Please don't take my child. By morning, she made a decision. She would return to the shrine. The journey to Ibadan was long and silent. The old bus rumbled along the dusty roads as Amarachi's mother held her daughter close, her body trembling from fever. When they arrived, the village seemed even quieter than before. The same crooked gate stood, creaking softly in the breeze inside the compound. I sat exactly where Amarachi had first seen him, legs crossed, his face unreadable. He looked up slowly as they approached. You came back, he said. His voice was calm, but his eyes were filled with knowing. Amarachi's mother dropped to her knees immediately. Please, my daughter is dying. I beg you, man of God, help her. The man shook his head slowly. I warned her. She broke the covenant. My gods are angry. Amarachi's mother began to cry louder. Her tears fell to the dusty ground. Please, punish me instead. Spare my daughter. She's all I have left. The man was silent for a while. Then he sighed deeply and said, she will live, but she will never see again. Amarachi's mother gasped, her hand covering her mouth. No, please, not that. Take anything else. But the priest only replied, the spirits have spoken. This is the price. Amarachi, though weak, had heard every word. Her dry lips parted slightly, and in a faint whisper, she said, I'll take it. I live without sight. I'm ready. Her mother sobbed harder, clutching her hand. The ritual began. The priest took a red cloth and placed it gently over Amarachi's eyes. He began to chant in a language her mother couldn't understand. The air in the room grew heavy. Smoke from burning incense curled around them, thick and bitter. He lifted a small calabash and poured a dark, bitter mixture into Amarachi's mouth. She coughed violently, the taste burning her throat. Her body trembled uncontrollably. The priest threw white powder into the air and shouted, let the covenant be reversed. Amarachi screamed once, a sound so raw and piercing it echoed through the compound. Then silence. Her mother rushed forward. Amora. Amora. But Amarachi lay still, her chest barely moving. Is she? The priest raised his hand. Do not speak. Leave her be. The spirits have accepted the exchange. By morning, Amarachi stirred. Her mother gasped in relief. Amora, You're awake. Amarachi turned her head slowly toward the sound of her mother's voice. Her lips moved weakly. Mom, is it morning? Her mother smiled through tears. Yes, my child. The sun is up. But Amarachi didn't blink. Her eyes were open yet empty, staring at nothing. Her mother's heart broke as realization dawned. Her daughter was alive, but blind. Months passed. Amarachi slowly regained her strength. The doctors called it a miracle. But her sight never returned. She lived quietly in her home now, no cameras, no ring lights, no interviews. The same internet that once shouted her name had forgotten her. New faces had taken her place. The world had moved on. Yet Amarachi found peace in the stillness. She learned to walk by touch, to identify voices, to smile even when she couldn't see the faces around her. One evening, she turned to her mother and said softly, "Mom, help me record something. I need to speak." Her mother reluctantly set up the phone camera. And that was how Amarachi told her story to the world. "My name is Amarachi Onora," she began. "I once had millions, fame, and followers. But I lost everything because I disrespected sacred things for clout. I was warned not to post that shrine. I wanted to go viral, and I did. Now I'll never see again. But if my blindness will open your eyes, let it be." She smiled faintly. In her darkness, she had finally found light. Today, Amarachi Onora lives in quiet obscurity, her story a haunting reminder that some boundaries were never meant to be crossed. The shrine still stands in that forgotten village, its crooked gate waiting silently for the next ambitious soul who believes they can bargain with forces beyond their understanding. Amarachi's story teaches us that fame is not worth your peace, views are not worth your soul, and viral moments are not worth your life. In a world obsessed with content, clout, and breaking the internet, her message echoes louder than ever: respect the sacred, honor your warnings, and know when to walk away. If this story moved you, opened your eyes, or made you think twice about the price of fame, please subscribe to this channel. Share this cautionary tale with someone who needs to hear it. Like this video to help spread Amarachi's warning to those who are chasing viral success at any cost. Remember, not every story is worth telling. Not every door is worth opening. And not every price is worth paying. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's continue exploring stories that matter, stories that teach, stories that warn, and stories that could save a life. What would you have done in Amarachi's position? Let me know in the comments below.